This old girl is like the gift that keeps on giving, apparently. This is a sweet pair right here. This is DJ. So she is a Cowboy Cut daughter. Well, let's see how everybody else out here did with 1.5 inches of rain last night. The Fleck, 100% Fleck thing was to have a moderate framed, very maternal, beef oriented animal. Alright, so if you caught the last video, I forgot to close out the video. This is literally 30 seconds later. So good morning. Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. Alright, it is Saturday morning. It's a little cool, but it actually feels like a nice spring day. Dad and I are going to meet it down at the shop this morning, I think, and work on the tractor for like an hour or two. Come on, girls. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Hup, hup. We got like the seat mechanism put all back together, and the seat's ready to go back in, but had to kind of quit the day very abruptly yesterday. Got a call from Bethany. She's like, you got to get home right away. I got hit in the driveway. So I have mentioned how I dislike this highway, and I mean, it's a county highway, and it was an accident. Everybody is fine. She was picking up the dog from daycare like she does basically every Friday. Come on, girls, let's go. Let's go. Come on. And she got to the driveway, she started slowing down, turned her blinker on. We always turn ours on well in advance of the driveway. And she was slowing down. She had a truck. She had a truck behind her, a pretty good sized truck that was, I mean, fairly close, but he was slowing down. And then there was a lady behind that guy. And for whatever reason, she saw the truck slowing down and decided she was going to pass said slowing down truck. And when she did that, Bethany was turning into the driveway at the same time, and kaboom. All right, down at the shop, and actually I'm going to get rid of the stocking cap. I don't need that anymore. What I was able to do is actually work on the road. We got that by the pond and by the our lakefront property. You know, that section of road always gets pretty worked up or pretty bumpy because there's so much water underneath the road. There is breaker on under there. This road was done decent. It's just that spot becomes a problem. But anyways, where did we end up yesterday? So here's the mechanism for the seat, what the actual cushion sits on. Not sure what we're going to do with that. The rest of the seat is fine. The cushion's fine. The fabric's fine. It's just that corner. We might have to, I don't know if we'll like kind of glue it, epoxy it. I don't know. We'll do something with that to kind of, you know, keep it in decent shape. But the rest of the seat there's nothing wrong with it. But this is back together. So I don't know if you can see it. If you can see that white roller down there. So they sit in this channel, and then it's on that one pin. I'm pretty sure I showed it in a previous video. It sits on those, there's 4 pins, 2 on each side. Well, 2 are missing, so that was allowing the seat to tip forward every time you sat on it. So that'll be a big, big improvement. And we were just ready to throw that thing in when Bethany called, but that is okay. What else did we do? We got our tie rod end is painted up. So this guy is ready to go. I just shot a real quick overspray on it. We don't need to paint the whole darn thing because this will honestly be in the other part of the tie rod. We just needed really the end, and I wanted just a little bit because there is that split crack where you could look down into. I wanted it to still look green. But I think I'm going to get the charger out because there is that voltage drop that we're seeing. So we got to get this thing plugged in so we can get it started to double check which side it was, because we don't remember. All right, so we got the seat all back in and we've got it adjusted forward and back. It is actually really, really solid. It doesn't go down all the way. It feels really, really good. So a little bit of work that we did to it worked out really nice. Did notice we might have a little bit of a power steering fluid leak. Not sure yet, but this panel's got to come off anyways. So might pop this off, and we're also going to work on getting that tie rod. We figured out which one it was. So Dad had gotten that taken off, but he said that is pert snug, which usually means heat is next. So I'll pull the tanks out. Up in here, we've got a little bit of some connection loosages. Is loosage a word? I've tightened up hose clamps. I got the wrench on one of those little hydraulic steering pump things, but that one was snug. I can't get it on the other one. And to work in this cab and to like work up in here, I mean, seriously, you have to be like 8 years old to be able to fit. I mean, it's tight. All right, so this old girl is like the gift that keeps on giving, apparently. Poke around. We had it running for a little while, but I think we might have a leak in the water pump. Hard for you guys to see it, but like right up in there, it does look like it's, I mean, there's definitely something leaking because there's water on stuff. So shit. We did get the tie rod on, so that's good. Might have to clean that up. Maybe we'll shoot it with paint. I don't know. It's fine. Now it kind of it's green, but it kind of matches everything else. So baby steps. And honestly, I think with the seat on, the tie rod on, the other side set up, the steps are decent. We're to the point where we could take it up to our buddy who's just a couple miles up the road, and when he gets a chance, he can kind of just start checking a couple of the things out that we wanted to check out. The main thing was the AC, and then as long as he has it, maybe we'll ask him to do the water pump. That would really suck, but he'd be able to do it faster than we could. We just have to pay for it. All right, so we're at the farm. What we want to do is get these pears in the loafing shed out to the field, which means I need to set my temp line back up, because we're going to do what we did last time, snake them through the short chute and then down past the bales. So let's get rolling. All right, we kind of have our posts set up. Not set, but all right, Dad's got silage fed out, got the lines put up. I got Dad's flag for him. All he has to do is come back, turn around, and jump off. So let's get him in the short chute. All right, we got that second crew out. It actually went really smooth. So now they're gonna run around, and not any silage, but that's all right. It was good timing. Now, the 15-20 minutes took me to set it up. Now we gotta tear it all back down again. Yeah, so that is another big step, because we legit have 3/4 of the herd out there. So we have 29 calves as of today. We got 4 to go, and we're one more calf than we had last year right now, and that gives us plenty of space with the barn north of the border, which north of the border we're thinking of cleaning, just putting on the pile, get that mound out of the way. That's one big thing. And then the calves that are in the barn could actually come north of the border, and then that gives us the whole barn to still do our rotation. We like having our cows have that time to really get going with their calf. Their calf is on the right start. If there's any issues with the calf, then they're kind of secluded. We can get at them really easy. That's what's nice about giving them those first 2 or 3 days, maybe 4 days, before they kind of go into gen pop, which is either the loafing shed or at the end of the season, north of the border. I did lock up HK75, the one that doesn't have an ear tag. Very tail twitchy. Everybody's doing really well. A really neat one is this, the 430. This is one that Dad is probably not going to let me keep, and we'll honestly see how she turns out. But just check out the legs, the back legs on that thing. This is a sweet pair right here. This is DJ. So she is a Cowboy Cut daughter. I'd love to get her DNA tested, and I probably should, but that is a sharp heifer. It's kind of like Pixel, but that one's actually a little thicker. So that is definitely on the maybe list. And I want to look at about 6 heifers again in that 5 to 6 range. That's about what we're shooting for. Now I know I definitely want, and this is all hope, and honestly if somebody just totally, you know, craps the bed over the summer, but like speaking genetically, I want the first Kingpin heifer. We've got the bold ruler heifer, we've got the essential heifer, we've got Pixel, so that's only 4. Now you've also got, now you think about the maybes. You know, this is that 913 that was in the back pen. That is another really nice looking heifer. Here's that 430. Here's that first Kingpin daughter who is doing really, really nice. Cora May's doing a nice job. Granted, she's also 6 weeks old. What else we got out here? Come on, photo. Come on, you are being a pest. You're being a pest. Yes, you are. You're being a pest. I know, but you're being a pest. Yeah, you got the little bull ruler heifer. There's Pixel. You got Marigold's calf over there. That's another Kingpin daughter. And then you've got Goggle Gergs. That's another Factor Fleck daughter. So there are definitely some on the maybe list. I only have 4 on that. I definitely want to keep. So it's picking out 2 more out of the maybes. Yeah, kiddo, you're definitely, I want you on the keep list, so don't fall apart on me. Hey, good morning. All right, we are heading down to the shop. It rained pretty decent last night. Not like massive amounts. I mean, we did get 1.5 inches of rain last night and throughout this morning. We did have a new calf last night, and I'll show you that little guy later. I didn't even have to look at him this morning because honestly he's running around the pen and all that. So out of HK75, so this is another State of War, and this is also a way for her to tell me that she is hetero black because he is red, which is fine. It's not a big deal. So HK75 is out of our FH75, who is an all-around, and I would have to double check who she came out of, but all-around is a hetero black bull. So HK75 is hetero black by chance, you know, so it's without getting her DNA tested, I wouldn't have known it, but now I don't have to test her for that because she told me. But he's doing really, really well. Came about 9:30 last night. Came out, she had no problem. He's only about maybe 83 pounds or something. This is her third calf. I think third calf. Yeah, and he's only about 83 pounds. Yeah, so he's doing good. We'll show you him later. I think we're gonna work on the 42 a little bit. It's still raining kind of light outside, but we can change the oil, the filters, maybe poke around with the wiring and stuff. All right, a little bit of an update. So amongst the rain showers, we've been working on changing the oil in the 42. So just filled it back up with oil, fired it up. And we'll let it run a little bit, and then we'll double check the level. So I usually go empty. I usually just go to the full line and then run it, check it, and typically you're just below the full after you fill the filter. So should be good to go. I'll show you what oil we use. We did step up our game just a little bit. We're using a Mystic product versus than just the standard Fleet Farm brand stuff, which we normally do. Dad got another jug for the 44, and this stuff's a little bit better suited for tractors with higher hours. So it is a semi-synthetic blend, or a synthetic blend, I should say. I'll show you guys. I'll show you that in a minute. Actually, the oil level went down a lot more than I thought it did, or would. So just kind of waiting for that to settle, and then I'll top her off. But this is what we went with this year. We use Mystic greases, so I am all good using an engine oil. A little better quality product, plus with the higher hours that are on this tractor and the 44 getting a little higher hours, and really the next time we change oil we'll probably put it in the 2030 as well, just because it has the rebuild, give it a little something extra. And then got ourselves oil filter, got her at the local Napa store. All right, down at the shop, don't worry, you didn't miss anything, because we spent like the last 2 hours checking lights, playing with lights. I did prop the hood up, well not the hood, I did prop the roof up there, and I was trying to check, and there is voltage to that light, but it's hard to check the other ones depending on what kind of like crimp connector or whatever, but it seems like there's voltage up there, but they're still not working. I'm not sure what's up with that. All right, it is borderline whether or not we give these 3 out here a new bale, and we don't want to do that. So it is time for them to come in, so we're gonna bring them in. Well, let's see how everybody else out here did with 1.5 inches of rain last night. You can definitely tell they do walk this fence line a lot, so it does get chewed up. It's a nice thing about the drag, I can kind of loosen that back up. But this afternoon's been really nice, honestly. Breezy, it's warm, they probably really like it. Does not look like anybody is any worse for wear. A warm rain is not a big deal for these guys. I will have to ask Dad to move my mineral feeder again. Try and keep it on higher ground, but everybody seems a-okay. I don't see any slouchers, I don't see any droopy ears. You know, and checking out some of these calves that were in the back loafing shed the second time, this is Goggle Gergs' calf, that heifer. Another one that I like, I mean that 913, I pointed her out before. This little girl, she is sharp. I would put her on the maybe list. We'll see again how she develops. They're like all subject to how they develop. But what's cool about her is she's actually 3/4 Fleck influence, and the other quarter would be a purebred influence. Now, you're probably wondering, like, well, what's the big deal? It's all Simmental, and that is true. It is all Simmental. But in Simmental, if you haven't learned, if you haven't watched the channel too much, there is kind of a distinct break. It is all Simmental. They all originate from the same area. But the full bloods, they are that. They are full blood. They are 100% Simmental. But then you have that 100% full Fleck, and the definition that I'm familiar with 100% full Fleck is one is full blood, so it is 100% Simmental and originates from Europe. But then the 100% full Fleck means that it is 100% German and Austrian descent. So it doesn't have any French descent or Swiss, which the French and Swiss lines, to my knowledge, were a little bit, did end up being a little bit more into the dairy side of things. The whole idea behind the Fleck, 100% Fleck thing was to have a moderate framed, very maternal, beef oriented animal. When you start getting into some of just the full bloods, you can have some of that dairy line in there where they can be just a little framier, heavier on the milk, and maybe not as beef oriented. That's all my understanding of it. I'm still learning. Like 5 years into this, well, actually like 5 years into this, Fleck segment of the herd, I'm still learning. I still consider myself a noob. But having that little bit of Fleck influence into our calves, you look at some of these guys, that's a factor, that's a factor, that's a factor, that's a Kingpin. Factor. I think these factor calves have done very, very well. And if you want to know, I still haven't showed you yet the one from last night, but I'll give you a hint. Looks just like that one, except it's going to get a different tag because it's a bull. But some of these females out of factor have been really nice. And Dad and I have already started kind of talking about just starting the slight conversations of like, when are we going to sell factor and what are we going to do? The only bad part, a couple of the bulls that we do have are like not so much the bull, but the mom is related to a lot of the herd, regardless of who we take. I personally would like to get another bull. One thing I did pick up yesterday, or it got here yesterday, so I kind of complained about my cameras, as far as like them kicking out or not being very responsive and all that stuff. So do a little research, and I have plenty of internet, surprisingly actually, but if I connect to my extended Wi-Fi out in the barn, I only have 5 or 10 meg download. I should have done a bridge from the house out to here. I was bridging with my old camera set, but the Zomotos were older and just not as good. Now we have better cameras, I have better internet, I need a better bridge. The bridge is essentially like running wire from the house. It's just, over the waves. All right, we finally got silage. And we're starting out with the big bucket now because this is literally, I figured out yesterday, it's 79% of our herd is out here. If you really want to get technical, it's 78.87 or some crap like that. But these guys know what they want. They want their corn silage. They don't care about hay, which is fine. And we're actually a little full on that bucket because, as I keep reminding Dad, this is a supplement. This is just a little something to keep them in good shape to go along with their hay. Hey kiddo, are you gonna be a nice one? Huh? Are you gonna be a nice one? So we got north of the border, we got some decent bedding out there, but I said I'd show you guys the calf from last night. There he is. He's a little lighter than the one that's outside, but doing really, really well. So mom is a state of war out of an all-around, and then a factor calf. So he's doing really well, very spunky. He's been running around, jumping around. The other big step that we have now is that nobody is out by the feeders. Everybody is either south of the bale yard in that field, what we call the heifer pasture, or they're in the barn north of the border. Not a huge weekend, honestly, affected more by the weather. And we got some stuff done yesterday, but it's like pick your poison. You can work on this to try and get this done, or you can work on this to do this. So All right. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you guys have a great week coming up. We are supposed to get more rain, unfortunately, like a couple more inches of rain. I got to keep an eye on this, the CF 913 out here. This True Justice daughter. She's been a little twitchy and a little awkward the last couple hours. So I got to keep an eye on her and see if I got to pen her up later. But it is the end of the day. I want to get inside because I got to try and get a video out yet tonight. I only got about 20 minutes to go on it, and then I'll be able to release it. Hope you guys liked the video. Please smash that like button on your way out. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, please. Most of you guys probably aren't subscribed. Maybe you're not regular viewers. But even if you're not regular viewers, show your support. Hit that subscribe button, totally free. Help support us here at Ohrmundt Simmentals. Help us get to our goal of 4,000 subs by the end of the year with your help. And as always, thanks for coming along.